This is Russ. Time for another health update. What is this? I think this is number 8. Yeah. I think the health updates may be coming to a close very shortly. Not a whole lot of new things to tell you guys. We're getting better, let's put it that way. And so numbers are stabling out at this point. But I do have some interesting things to let you know, though. Okay. So the last time we talked about the continuous glucose monitors that I had, and I had the one that they would be charging $75 for a month, right? That was 2 units that do 14 days each. I did hear that there's I don't know if it's got plans or whether it's actually coming out, but there's a version of that Libre 3 that might be able to do 15 days. So coming soon, I guess. But yeah, that's not what I'm wearing today. Yeah, the Libre 3 finished off. So we got our final datas out there, and then got a clean bill of health, so to speak. Yeah. Overall, I did fairly well, so it wasn't too many things to really talk about for that. And as I mentioned to you before, my diabetes educator has been watching the Russ is Right channel, so she already kind of knew what I was up against even before I had my appointment with her on Thursday. You guys will be seeing this on Monday, of course. So I talked to her about the CGM units, continuous glucose monitors, and I said that I was interested maybe in the Libre 3, but they charge $75, whereas the Dexcom G7 is a 10-day unit. You need 3 of those in a month, so 3 units will be going on you within the month. And that's like $35, and I didn't understand why. And she told me, she says, actually, between the two, the Dexcom is actually the more expensive unit. That kind of would make sense. There's 3 of them there, right, instead of 2. But I said, so then why is it that my copay is $35 versus $75? And she says that's probably because your insurance company has made a deal with Dexcom so that you can get a copay of only $35. But she says if you were to buy this outright on your own, the Dexcom actually is the more expensive unit. Hey, I didn't know that. So I have on my arm here, let me see if I can pull this up here. I don't know, can you guys see this? Let me angle up a little bit. Can you guys see this? This is the Dexcom. Sorry, I had to back away from the mic a little bit. Yeah, I'm actually recording in a different area where I usually record, and it's not very sunny outside. You know, in the past, I used to put studio lights and everything up to do the recordings, but you know, it's a lot of hassle to set everything up like that. So I've just been using natural light to come in, and today, what is today? Today is Friday. I'm recording this. You'll see this on Monday. It's kind of rainy out there, and it's kind of overcast. So I'm doing it kind of late in the day, so there's not a whole lot of sun. So I said, well, let me just do it, and we'll see how it turns out. If it's grainy, then in the future we won't do it this way. We'll have to wait until there's more sun. But I usually don't try to do the videos on the weekends. I reserve that for me and Mrs. Wright, so we can do things if we need to. So I try to get these videos out by Friday for you to see on Monday. So if it doesn't look as great as in the past, I apologize for that, and that's the reason why. Okay. So what about the updates? Why did I go with the Dexcom? Well, the Dexcom is cheaper overall. I was at the point where I was thinking, do I really need these things? Because really, if I'm going to eat the same things over and over, do I really need to keep track of that? Well, there are reasons to keep track of it, okay? We mentioned before that stress can make a difference, and I confirmed with her that, you know, does that go up because you're stressed? She goes, oh yeah, absolutely. Your sugar levels will go up. If your emotions change here or there, it'll change. And I mentioned that, you know, I had some issues going on that particular day, and it went all the way up to 220. Yeah, that's pretty high. You know, usually I'm hanging around the, I don't know, maybe between the 100 to 120 levels. And then when you eat something, sometimes it goes to the 140, 150 levels, but never 220. But she goes, yeah, your emotions and stress could actually make a difference to your blood glucose. So you got to be careful. So there is a good reason to have a continuous monitoring going on. All right. Now, a friend of mine's also mentioned to me too that he says sometimes people get so hung up on these numbers that, you know, they're obsessed with the numbers, and that's not so good either. That's true. You know, you could actually just keep looking at these things and go, why is it going up? Why is it going up? And then you're panicking about the numbers. So yeah, you got to kind of keep that in check. So how is this new one working for me? Well, the graphs are a little bit different. There's good and bad, I think, on both units. But this one that I'm using right now, What I like about it is that on the graph, you can put your finger on the graph and then slide around, and it'll tell you what the numbers are on that graph. Now, the other graph on the Libre 3, you see it, but those things aren't calibrated in the sense of there's no lines across the graph that you can point exactly, okay, that was 127, that one was 132. You're kind of guessing at it. If you don't see it right there and then, when you look back at the graph, you don't really know exactly where it sits because the scale is not there essentially, right? The x-axis and the y-axis, it's not really calibrated to every single number. So you kind of guess by looking at it and say, yeah, it's kind of like maybe about 132, 134, you know what I'm saying? Whereas this way, you put your finger on that graph and you slide the finger, it tells you exactly what that dot means. It tells you the number exactly. So I kind of like that. Now, another difference is the Dexcom G7 looks at it every 5 minutes, whereas the Libre 3, I think, not really sure. Is it every 30 seconds, every 1 minute? I don't know. It's a lot more as far as it updating you. This one, every 5 minutes you get an update. But really, do you need it any faster than every 5 minutes? I don't think so. I think every 5 minutes is perfectly fine. So it does stick out a little bit more. I mean, it's a little thicker than the other one. And there's an overlay patch. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? There's an overlay patch that goes around it. So it brings attention more to it. But I was already putting a bandage around the other one to keep it from falling off, by accident. So it's not a real big deal. And if you stick it further enough back in the back of your arm, people noticing it would be slim anyway. So no big deal. So going forward, I'm going to ask for the $35 unit, which means I get 3 of them to put on in a month. Now, she did say to me, you don't have to do it continuously. You could decide, okay, well, for the next 2-3 weeks, I'm just gonna eat the same stuff. I'm not gonna need to monitor. Then don't monitor it. Save the units for the next month, So, but if you want to be constantly doing it, then of course it'll cost you $35 in a month's time because you'll go through 3 of those units. All right. Now, I do see a benefit of being able to just kind of look real quickly, say, how am I doing right now? If you don't monitor, you don't know, right? I mean, you could do a finger stick test, right? And poke yourself and then check your blood glucose directly with the blood. I could still always do that because I got 200 of those things and I haven't used it at all. Since using this monitoring system, I figured, why do I need to poke myself? That's why I haven't shown it to you. I figured, why do it? Those are a little more accurate than this one. And by the way, the thing that's on your arm, she showed me, she says it's actually not a needle, it's a filament. Yeah, you can touch that little thing and it'll move around a little bit. She says the applicator that they use is what helps push it into your arm. But she says it's technically not actually a needle. It's true. It's a little filament. And it needs that applicator to push it properly into your arm. And this is the reason why it sometimes could be a problem if it falls off. Like if you knock it off somehow, you might have some difficulties putting it back on. In fact, you probably won't be able to put it back on. So this is why you need to put that like that bandage type thing overlay. It's a clear plastic one for this one, so that it's harder to knock off, because if you knock it off, you will have a problem. You can't use it again at that point, really. So anyway, I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. I don't see it as too much of a difference in terms of the 2 units, and definitely not, to me, not worth paying $75 for this thing versus $35 for the month. So there you go. Numbers are good. Blood pressure has been higher this past couple weeks. So and that's just from stress from things going on in my life. And so I think the blood pressures have been going up a little bit. It's usually 150, 155 over 85 and sometimes even 90, which brings it back to the levels it was before even taking medication. So it tells you that you have to be more calm. You have to be more, you gotta be more laid back, right? Try to keep stress out of your life, and that'll help you in terms of the medication giving you proper, levels that you need to be at. Short of that, you could always ask for increase of your medication, and I don't want to really do that, but let's hope everything calms down better going forward and I won't have to do it. So I'm still taking the cholesterol medication. There's that thing, there's no way for me to check on anything on that. I'm just assuming that's doing what it's supposed to do. And I have the lowest level of cholesterol medication for that. And the metformin that I take for the diabetes is still the same. It's 1,000 milligrams, which is 2 pills. I take that exactly at the same time, right around dinner time. Okay, so there you have it. That's the updates. So this might, again, like I said, might be the last health update for a long time. If things change, I'll do a health update on a Monday. Otherwise, every now and then I may just mention really quickly, it won't be long, drawn out things, hopefully, really quickly how I'm doing, and that'll be on the regular YouTube videos that we do for e-bikes. So we will go back to Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays for e-bikes with maybe a quick update every now and then as to how I'm doing for health-wise. And then, you know, bikes are coming in soon. So I got several of them coming in soon. So we should be able to get to that as soon as weather permits us to go out and ride. So what's going to happen on Monday going forward then? Well, like I said, it was basically anything goes Monday. So anything I want to talk about may actually happen on Mondays, but it may or may not be health related. So you have to kind of tune in on Mondays to see if I have anything there. And if I do, it might be health, it might be something else. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time.